Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Lydia King and I create videos on sewing tutorials, sewing tips and hacks. If you're new here, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to draft this blazer jacket. Before we begin, these are the measurements you would be needing for these tutorials. And if this is something you're interested in, please keep watching. The first thing that I'm going to do is rule a line here, which would serve as my starting line. After ruling that line, I'm going to mark off 4 inches just like this and roll a line. All our horizontal measurements are going to be starting from this line. Now mark out your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then mark out your neck width, which is 3 inches. Also mark out your neck depth, which is also 3 inches. Then draw a curve like so. So now we are going to go to the shoulder line, and then we are going to come down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope. After you're done doing that, go ahead to mark out your horizontal measurements. Mark out your bust point length, your under bust length, your half length, and your jacket's length. Then connect all those points together like so. Now at your bust line, you're going to go up by 2 inches for your chest line. So connect that point like this. After doing that, I'll come up here and take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and I'm going to mark it on my chest line. Then I'm going to connect that to my shoulder line. Then I'm going to divide that line by 2 and then mark out the midpoint. And at that point, I'm going to come in by ½ inch, then use my curve rule or freehand to curve it like so. Now I'm going to impute my body measurements, my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then my under bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inch sewing allowance and that allowance. I'll do the same thing to my waist measurement. I'll divide it by 4. I'm going to add 2 inches, 1 inch for my darts and 1 inch for my sewing allowance. Then I'll go down to my hemline. I'm going to use my hip measurement for this one. So my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect these points like this. After doing this, I'm going to come here, mark out my darts, which is my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I'm going to join those points like this. I'm going to come down to my waistline and I'm going to take ½ inch on both sides. At the bust line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So I'm going to join that point to the waist. Then I'm also going to go down to my hemline and I'm going to come down by 1 inch, then connect my darts like this. At this space here that we had created, I'm going to come out from the neckline by 1 inch, and I'll do the same to my waistline and also to my hemline. Then I'm going to draw a straight line. So we are going to have like 1 inch there. Then the next thing is to connect from my shoulder line to meet my waistline like so. Then I'll come here and go out by 1 inch. This depends on how wide you want your lapel to be. You can go out by 0.5 inch or 0.75 inch or 0.15 inches. But I'll be using 1 inch here. Now I'm going to connect from that point to my waistline. Okay, now we're done there. So I'm going to come to this point at my hemline and I'm going to go up by 1 inch and I'm going to draw a curve. Then I'm also going to go to my waistline and I'm going to also curve the line from my hemline to my waistline, because I also want the front of my jacket to have a bit of curve. So this actually depends on what you want. You can leave it that way, but me, I want that part to be curved. So now I'll go up, divide my shoulder by 2, and I'm going to join that to my bust line like this. Now we are done with our front pattern. I'll now go ahead to cut it out. For our back pattern, I'll draw a straight line at the top to serve as my starting point, just like we did with the front pattern. Then I'm going to take my horizontal measurements and I'm going to draw my lines just the same way we also did for the front pattern. Then after that, I'll mark out my shoulder length. I'm also going to mark that same measurement on my chest line. Then I'm going to join that point. After which I'll mark my neck width of 3 inches, and then my neck depth for my back pattern is 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to draw a curve like so. At my shoulder line, I'll come down by 1 inch and I'm going to draw my shoulder slope. Now I'm going to impute my horizontal measurements on the lines just like the way we did on the front pattern. Mark your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. My under bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance, and also 1 inch for that. I'll do the same thing for my waist measurement and my hip measurement. Then I'm going to join the points together. So now I'm just going to come here and I'm just going to draw a curve for my armhole like so. Now for my dart is my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So I'm just going to mark out my dart the same way I did for my front pattern. So my dart is 4.5 inches and that's what I'm doing. Then at my waistline, I'm just going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides and I'm going to join my dart. Then still at the waistline, I'm going to just come in by 1/2 inch to create that for my center back. This is optional. You can choose not to do this, but I did. Now draw your center back. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to go to my shoulder line and I'm going to divide it by 2. Then I'm going to join that point to my bust line like so. So I'm also going to come down to my hemline by this side and I'm just going to come up by 1 inch the same way I did for my front pattern, and I'm going to just curve that part. So yes, I'm done with that and our back pattern is ready. So now I'm just going to use my paper scissors and cut it out. After cutting both front and back pattern, guys, this is what you should have. This is both the front and back piece. Now I'm going to separate the dart for both pattern and then I'm going to show you what they look like. So after that, I'll go ahead to label them so I don't get them all mixed up before using them to cut out my pieces on my fabric. So here I'm done and this is what my back and front pattern looks like after separating the dart. So now let's go ahead to drape the sleeve. I'm going to draw a line here that will serve as my starting line. Then I'm going to go ahead to divide my armhole measurement by 2 and then I'm going to mark what I have there, and I'll come down to this point and then I'm going to do the same and I'll just draw a straight line. Afterwards, I'll come down by 6 inches at this point. Then I'm going to join that point like so. After this, I'm going to divide this line by 2 and then get the midpoint I'm also going to do the same with the space in between the line. Then I'm going to divide it by 2. Then I'm going to draw a straight line like so. So now we have both our midpoints. So now I'm just going to use my free hand to create the curve to meet this point. And then I'm going to also extend this point like this. So now I'm going to go ahead to measure my round armhole measurement divided by 2 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to measure that curve to make sure that that is what I have, and that is what I had. After doing that, I'm just going to take my elbow length measurement. I'm going to take my 3/4 length measurement, and I'm going to take my full length measurement. I'm just going to draw the lines like so. Then after that, I'm going to mark out my round elbow measurement divided by 2 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to also mark out my 3/4 measurement divided by 2. Then my wrist measurement divided by 2 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I'm going to join these points like so. So now I'm done. So I'm just going to cut out the sleeves, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. So guys, this is it. This is our sleeve. For the collar, we would cut it after joining the shoulder lines together. Now I'm going to go ahead to use this pattern to cut on my fabric. While cutting, please make sure you add 1/2 inch to all the sides of your pattern for joining, the way that you see me doing here. After cutting, these are the pieces we have: the front piece and the back piece and the sleeve. This is where I'm going to stop for today's tutorial, and in my next video I'll be showing you how to sew all these pieces together. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you know when the video drops. Thank you so much for watching. Until I see you on my next video. Bye.